So since 2020 is approaching, it's been a lot of talks who's the fighter of the decade since 2010. And AB Boxing got the chance to ask Eddie Hearn who he thinks or believes is the fighter of the decade. And he stated Floyd Money Mayweather, where AB responded by saying, well, Floyd retired. However, Eddie Hearn still stated that Floyd Mayweather got the best resume, and even though he retired in 2017 or 2018, he still did more than all these fighters that's fighting currently. So for the first time, I could co-sign and agree with Eddie Hearn. And the reason why, there isn't really a second choice. I mean, I believe Floyd Mayweather, you could put him number one, Andre Ward possibly number two, Pacquiao number three, and then maybe a Terrence Crawford. And you can see that AB Boxing was kind of trying to get a different answer from Eddie Hearn. However, like I said, even though Floyd Mayweather retired in 2017, but who tops what Floyd did since 2010? Just to name few fighters that Floyd fought since then. Obviously, he fought Sugar Shane Mosley, coming off his biggest win versus Margarito. Unlike Pacquiao and Canelo, when they fought Mosley, it was after Sugar Shane Mosley lost to Floyd, and then obviously Canelo fought Sugar Shane Mosley after he lost to Pacquiao, and then got like a draw with a unknown fighter. So it's not as significant as a Floyd Mayweather win. And I must say, when you ranking these fighters and you put them on the list, you gotta factor in a couple things, which is, when did this fighter fight his opponents? Coming off what victory? How dominant was he in the fight? What's his resume look like? And obviously, like I said, nobody tops Floyd. If we consider the Sugar Shane Mosley win, which that fight took place in 2010, that was a huge win and a very dominant performance by Floyd. Then he fought Ortiz and knocked him out. Cheap shot or not, it was Ortiz who initiated the dirty tactics. Then he fought obviously a Guerrero, coming off his biggest victory, and then he fought a Miguel Cotto at his own weight after beating and getting his revenge against Margarito. Then he fought Guerrero obviously after he came out of jail, which I already mentioned him. And after that, I believe he fought Canelo Alvarez and dominated him and beat him every round, which that victory is tremendous now, seeing what Canelo Alvarez have accomplished to this day. Floyd was the only one who was capable of beating Canelo Alvarez every single round. Against the Canelo, you have to be dominant in order to get the victory, because obviously even Canelo at the time, one judge had it a draw, even though Canelo Alvarez lost every single round. So Floyd Mayweather had that win under the books. And then 2 fights with Maidana. After Maidana obviously beat Bronan, had like 4 or 5 winning streaks. Then he fought the fighter of the decade, or so-called the fighter of the decade, Manny Pacquiao. And he dominated Manny Pacquiao as well. I believe he's the only fighter that was able to dominate a Pacquiao. So say what y'all want to say, Pacquiao is fighting Thurman today, and Floyd beat him at the time, and Floyd was really older than Manny Pacquiao, so you can't use the excuse of Pacquiao being old. And he the one who tried to fight Pacquiao in 2009, and Pacquiao turned down that fight, and Freddie Roach admitted it was their fault because they turned it down for a drug test, which obviously it was their fault for the Mayweather versus Pacquiao fight not happening on time. Then after Floyd defeated the fighter of the decade, Pacquiao, which makes him really the fighter of the decade, Floyd is the fighter of the decade. ESPN made Pacquiao the fighter of the decade. And then when Floyd Mayweather beat Manny Pacquiao that year, they didn't even give Floyd Mayweather the fighter of the year. They gave it to Ronda Rousey, who ended up getting knocked out by Holly Holmes that same year. So that should tell you how biased and corrupt the sport of boxing is, or especially ESPN. They got a hidden agenda, obviously. So after that, he obviously fought Andre Berto and then ended his career fighting Conor McGregor in a huge money fight. So nobody really topped Floyd Mayweather accomplishments, including all the fighters that's fighting currently. All these fighters ain't fighting each other. Most of the big fights ain't taking place either due to politics or fighters maneuvering and ducking, like the likes of Anthony Joshua, etc., etc. So who I could put second on the list and third, obviously you could put Andre. I mean, Andre accomplished a lot as well, even though Andre Ward had a lot of issues with his promoter at the time, but with the fights that he was able to get after that and before that even, puts him high on the list. I mean, just the victory over Kovalev and him moving up in weight and fighting the Crusher Kovalev when he was really the Crusher, and before that being Dawson and all that, put Andre on top of the list, especially him being able to dominate most of his fights and him being undefeated. On the other hand, we got Manny Pacquiao, another fighter that's, even till this day, he fighting Keith Thurman. So Pacquiao is definitely on the list. However, I'll tell you fighters that's not on the list. Gennady Golovkin, who was exposed as a fraud. Roman Gonzalez. Them two guys are definitely not on the list. The reason why, Gennady Golovkin biggest win is versus a Lemieux and a Kell Brook. A lot of people feel like he lost the Jacob fight. Didn't want to give Jacob a rematch. He lost the Canelo fight. So he don't even have a significant win. He ducked Andre, he ducked Charlo, he ducked Andre Ward, he ducked Lara. So, I mean, he the cherry picking king. But back to the topic, as far as fighters that's fighting currently that's on the list, you could put Terrence Crawford on top of the list. He deserves to be up there. But I believe the list will change tremendously from 2015 to 2025. That will be a whole completely different list. But for now, hate it or love it, Floyd Mayweather is still dominating the charts, because at the end of the day, he got the best resume from 2010 to 2019. So all these fighters or all these fanboys that keep saying Floyd Mayweather is this, Floyd Mayweather is that, well, how come a fighter who's already retired has a better resume when he already turned to money Floyd Mayweather, not pretty boy Floyd? He still got a better resume than all these fighters that's fighting currently, including the Canelo Alvarez. And he got Canelo on his resume. He got that body on his resume. So all these complaints that Floyd Mayweather ain't this, ain't that, and none of y'all favorite fighter top his resume or even come close to it. That's why Eddie Hearn can't even be his usual self and be biased and be a hypocrite at times. He can't even do that because, like I said, he can't even pick a Canelo Alvarez. Even though he fights on his own, he can't be biased and do that because Floyd Mayweather already bodied the Canelo Alvarez and got that body on his record. So whatever Canelo Alvarez does from this point on, it just makes Floyd Mayweather look better and better, because Floyd Mayweather at age 36 or 37, I believe, beat a prime Canelo Alvarez who was 23 at the time. And obviously, if Floyd Mayweather, if we reverse the roles and Floyd was the 23-year-old fighter, that version of Floyd Mayweather is the same version that fought Corrales. So go watch that fight and see how good Floyd Mayweather was. And let's say Floyd Mayweather was 20 pounds bigger than Canelo, and Canelo Alvarez is the one moving up in weight. Man, Floyd Mayweather will smoke Canelo. If that was the case, he will stop Canelo. However, Floyd had all the disadvantages on his side, and he still schooled Canelo Alvarez every round and embarrassed him. So you got to give Floyd the credit he deserved, because even as money made, he beat a Pacquiao, a Canelo, a Cotto, and he fought, most of the fighters he fought, they was 20 pounds bigger than him. Unlike the fighters today where they struggling fighting fighters that's smaller than them. So, like I said, you really cannot be biased with this, and Floyd Mayweather really topped the charts, any chart really. So it's really Floyd, Pacquiao, Andre Ward. I mean, you can't go wrong with these three. And as far as the new generation, obviously Terrence Crawford, and after that you could really have it in any order as far as the fighters that's fighting currently today. So who y'all have on the list? I mean, I just can't see anybody disagreeing with Floyd Mayweather being the fighter of the decade, from 2010 to 2020. And it can't be a Pacquiao because Floyd Mayweather beat a Pacquiao and dominated Pacquiao. So for the people that's biased and the casual fans, keep in mind Floyd beat y'all favorite fighter Canelo. He beat y'all favorite fighter Pacquiao. And I personally like those guys as well, but you got to tell it like it is. And I know a lot of people hate when you bring up Floyd Mayweather and you give him the credit he deserves. Look, I could care less what he did outside of the ring. We talking about what he accomplished inside of the ring. And the only reason I really bring Floyd Mayweather a lot in different conversations on a lot of video, even though I could use plenty of different examples, is because that's who y'all bring up the most in the comment section. I could be making a video about Canelo Alvarez, not mentioning Floyd, or Deontay Wilder, not mentioning Floyd, or whoever, and they was just be name dropping Floyd Mayweather, just talking shit about him. So obviously I got to do my job and expose the hypocrites and the hypocrisy that's going on in the sport of boxing, and the hate that's going on for Floyd Money Mayweather, and just tell it like it is, because a lot of y'all talk with y'all emotions and y'all feelings. So feel free to drop y'all top 5 fighters of the decades from 2010 to 2020, and subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumber by the second, don't listen to these casual ass fans. And if y'all like the boxing memes that y'all see in my videos, follow Latoon Boxing on Instagram. Follow me at Aki TV on Instagram and YouTube. And till we meet again on the next episode of Aki TV. Peace, and we out.